Hey guys, Iceman here. So in this video, we are going to explore the top 10 most Toad items in Diablo 2, okay? And this is the Path of Diablo mod. So if you're not on Path of Diablo, you guys should download that because it's Toad as fuck. But nonetheless, the first item on the list is Breath of the Dying. You see, this item emits a poison nova upon killing an enemy, and it does a lot of damage, negative 25% target defense, life and mana leech, 30 to all attributes. It's extremely Toad, one of the most Toadest items in the game, and it has an epic effect. Watch this. See? When you kill an enemy, it emits a poison nova when you kill it with that hand, a 50% chance. So if you're killing fast, it does it quite often. So Breath of the Dying is number 10 on this list of godly items. What do you think about that, brah?
Okay, so item number 8 on the list is the
Faith Bow. In a Grand Matron bow, because it does epic damage, decent attack speed, and in addition to that, it gives you Zon skills. 1 to 3 depending. It's random. So you make this in a 4-socketed bow, and it gives you some Toad attributes. And the Vayman love it. This little Vayman right here, she just can't seem to thank her daddy enough for this very generous gift that daddy has blessed her with. Check this out, man. It gives fanaticism, ranges 12 to 15, as it does now, again, in Path of Diablo. Ranges 1 to 2 to all skills. It gives a lot of damage. Ignores target's defense. So for all the lesser enemies, it has a 95% chance to hit them, regardless of your attack rating, dog. So it's Toad! You gotta get this shit, man. And now that the ladder has reset, I'm actually working toward one of these myself. But me's got a long ways to go. Me's only like level 40 with his Vayman right now. So me's got a long ways to go, man. So hook me up with your encouragement. I'm just kind of taking this ladder easy, so it might be a long ways off. I don't know. But it gives a ton of AR, 300% bonus to attack rating. So yeah, this is Hell mode right now. And as you can see here, the Faith Bow, I mean, it just attacks fast as a hog. You know what I mean? So you really can't go wrong with that shit. It's very competitive with other high-end bows in this game. It's my favorite from all my testing that I've done, and I've even tested a 6-socketed Wind Force with 6 ohms in it. The Faith is very defensive, of course, compared to Wind Force. It gives you the resol. It reanimates, a 10% chance to reanimate the enemy that you killed into an undead. And that actually goes a long ways, man, in terms of helping you out and assisting you. Especially in the endgame maps in Path of Diablo, where it's big open areas, and you just got to, it's the skeletons really start forming up. They're the skeleton army, so it's GG. Ooh, look at these, not bad. But yeah, get the Faith Bow, man. Don't be a bitch. Okay, you guys, what's up? Iceman here. So, item number 7 on the list, most Toad item, number 7, is Chaos, okay? Item number 7.
So, Chaos is very Toad and a very generous
runeward item. It's quite expensive to make, and it's especially useful in a claw. In fact, I think you can only make it in claws, but I don't know. I forgot, it's been a while, okay? But it casts Frozen Orb on Striking Man, a 9% chance. And Frozen Orb is really GG. And if you accompany this with a Medusa's Gaze shield, which pierces their cold res, it can be really GG. Although Medusa's Gaze might have been nerfed this recent patch in Path of Diablo. Just started a couple days ago, ladder reset, so I don't know. But that's how it was before, and that was GG. But you could also pair it with a Nightwing's Veil. Especially if you get a 30s one of those, man, and you put 3 cold sockets in the Nightwing's Veil, it would just be so GG with this, with the Frozen Orbs that you're constantly casting. And it does a lot of magic damage, which actually really helps. I think magic is one of the least resisted elements by all the enemies in the game. Like a lot of them, you know, they're resistant to fire or cold or lightning, but for magic, I think it's they don't have as much resistance in general, to my understanding. It cuts the enemy to where they bleed to death potentially. They just keep bleeding until they die, I think. It might have a timer on it. But man, this item is truly an agent of chaos, okay? So, chaos is something you make when you're rich. It's not really essential, but it's really cool to have. It's especially useful with a blade shield, because it procs actually from the blades themselves when they hit the enemies. So you could cast frozen orbs just by standing around. And of course they don't cost you any mana because it's just a benefit you get. What the fuck? Why isn't casting it? I don't think that's been changed, has it? Come on, okay, there goes the chain lightning. So the chain lightning was cast. The fuck, bro? I think... Okay, there goes a couple frozen orbs. See, there they go. There they go. Ooh, a rune staff. But chaos is a good way to go, man. So that's number 7. Holy shit, look at that. Look at the MF that thing offers. What kind of wind force do I even have here? Just plain wind force. Okay, so that's number 7 on the list, okay, man? So like this video and become a patron and subscribe to the page. More items to come in this video, so stay tuned. Okay, so most Toad item number 5 on the list is going to be Harlequin Crest Shaco. Yes, one of the hottest trading items, especially early on in ladder. Everyone wants a Shaco, man. The hat is just, it's very nice with all the life and mana that it adds based on character level. It gives 50% magic find, it gives 2 to all skills, and in addition to that, it gives some freaking damage reduction, 10%. So Shaco is a cute little hat. It's green. It's great for a druid, an elemental one especially, or a fire druid rather. Whatever the case, man. It's good on so many different types of builds. The Javazon, it's Toad on. Any Sork build. Even Babas wear it sometimes, you know. Maybe throw Babas for early game, but Shaco is just a very versatile item. So how could it not make the list on the most Toad items in the game? And this is my light Sork. And she enjoys slaughtering things by the legions. Look at this. It's a Sun Spirit. Let's identify this thing a second. Oh, shit. You kidding me? I don't have a, shit. I'm gonna have to go back to that. Yeah, Daddy gonna go back to that shit. Ooh. There's one. Okay. Let's ID it. We's gonna ID this thing. Piece of shit. Okay, but yeah. Shaco, man, one of the most desired items, especially early ladder, and it's great for trading. The MF is just really nice, and people generally pop a Topaz in there to give it an additional 24 MF if you pop a perfect Topaz in that hog, in which case you'll have 74 MF total just from the helm. In Path of Diablo, you can slam it with an OOC and potentially get 2 sockets. Ooh, a Key of Hate, bro. So when you get 2 sockets out of that little thing, it's especially nice. You can pop an additional... Maybe I shouldn't throw that on the ground. You can pop an additional Topaz in there. So get yourself a Shaco. It's very nice. Very, very nice. More items to come, so stay tuned. What's up, guys? Iceman here. So item number 3 on the list, most Toad item number 3 is Death Cleaver. Very, very desirable item, especially early in the ladder. If you can find one of these Toads, you can slam this thing and potentially get 6 sockets in it. In which case you could pop facets in there, you could pop shale runes, and just attack fast as a hog, alright? So, I'm not saying it's the best item. It's just one of the more Toadish items, okay? And don't take this list in any particular order. And there's a lot of items that can be Toad. It kind of depends on the day. In fact, before I started recording this, I thought this was going to be the death rune word, but it's not. It's just the fucking Cleaver thing. But I mean, that still is worthy, right? We shouldn't hurt its feelings and tell it just to fuck off. So maybe we'll in just a minute, but yeah, death, it gives a ton of deadly strike. 66% chance of deadly strike, which doubles the damage. It gives negative percentage target defense, which is a very desirable trait as well, as I pointed out with Breath of the Dying. Because it can be tough to get your attack rating way up, man, and get 95% chance to hit, especially in the endgame tiers. So when you pierce their armor like that, it can get you to 95% without even really displaying that here with your AR, because it doesn't show up in correlation with your AR, but it pierces, you know, their defense. Then it assumes that you're attacking something with, you know, a third less defense to it. So it's very helpful. And they good on wolf dodos, they's good on babas, they's good on frenzy babas, they's good on paladins who charge and who zeal. So Death Cleaver is Toad, so get yourself a Death Cleaver. Peace be with you. Alright, dog. Most Toad item number 2 on the list is Death. Yes, this is the item I was meaning to get a moment ago. Death is a very nice and rather cheap rune word. It just requires a Vex rune in terms of its most, you know, valuable runes. A Gull, they can be a bit hard to come by, but not as much as a Vex, and they're certainly, you know, the lower end of the higher end runes, these two. So you can make yourself a Death out of an axe or a sword. Always do it in an ethereal one, man. I saw this dog who did it in just plain items one time, because he said he couldn't get his hands on an ethereal one, and that's just a dumbass move, man. Don't do that, okay? Don't make it in a plain item. You just lose out on a ton of damage, and I'm surprised I even got to say this shit, but I just don't know why that guy did that, you know? Like, I saw him in game last ladder, and he had a Breath of the Dying and a Death in a non-ethereal item, but whatever. You lose out on, like, 30%, 40% of your damage, I would think. But this one's made in a Berserker Axe. Has a really shitty roll, but nonetheless, it's still pretty godly. 477 max damage right here. It casts Chain Lightning when you die, which isn't very useful, but the Glacial Spike is actually very useful. It freezes the enemies around you. It's very defensive in that case, because when you're a Baba and you're just going up in your foe's grills and just swinging away, especially a Frenzy Baba, you're going to get the shit knocked out of you some, man, especially if your defense is bad. And it's even hard to avoid it, even if that's the case. So when you freeze the enemies with Glacial Spike, it's just hog. It gives bonus to attack rating. It doesn't pierce their defense, but it gives you some attack rating, so it makes up to some extent. But it gives you mana leech, which sometimes is very needed. 50% crushing blow, which is one of its more notable attributes, and 44% deadly strike. Right now, it's based on character level. So as I said before, that doubles the damage, and it even gives you blood golem charges. But I don't think the blood golem lasts very long. Let's see what he can do with these guys. Not much. Ooh. He killed one. How much damage is he doing? 500 damage, damn, that's pretty Toad. But, as you can see, with the Death, you will freeze targets. Now, it's going to be kind of difficult to freeze them, because this guy kills them in one hit, often, especially here in Act 3. But you can see them shatter with the Glacial Spike. In fact, we'll go down to the Trav. We'll take... Maybe I could freeze these guys a little bit. Just the lesser ones and not the uniques. And see that? They freeze entirely. The uniques don't, but it slows them down. Well, we're finding all sorts of Toads today. That elite club over there. Maybe we'll item bind these guys. But yeah, Death is a Toad. It's worthy of making the Toad list. What do you guys think? You know what? I'll make another Toad list, though. And I'll probably have even more Toad items on there. So, stay tuned for those videos. Is this that Druid one? think it's the druid thing. No, it's not. That's the exceptional one. Nord's Tenderizer. It could be fun, I'm sure, finding this thing early on in ladder. Look at that freaking cold damage. It's Toad. Okay, and that freezes target as well, actually. Yeah, but the nice thing about the Glacial Spike, of course, is that it has area of effect. They have quite a decent radius to them. They'll freeze several enemies at once. So get yourself a death, man, especially if you're making a Frenzy Barb. It's a fun way to play, man. I'll be right back. One last item to showcase in this video, and it will be Toad.
Okay, so item number 1 that is most Toad.
I'm actually going to include 3 items in this one, okay? The first item is Enigma. Allows you to teleport and shit and has a ton of MF and other useful attributes. 14 life per kill is very nice. And a ton of strength. 2 skills, so you can really glitch your character up and put those points into vitality or something else. And the other item that's Toad is Phoenix. It redeems their souls and fills your mana and your life. And in addition to that, it has some other pretty cool attributes. Path of Diablo is especially nice because it doesn't have that interference from the firestorm that it used to have, where you'd be with the Javazon casting like crazy, your javelins, and it'd be interrupted by her little firestorm she cast because of this Phoenix. But now it's just a fireball, and it's very nice. It pierces their fire res as well. And item number 3, that's Toad item number 1 on this list, is Infinity with Conviction. Pierces their resists. It can actually break a lot of resists as well. Not all of them, however, so beware. Especially in Path of Diablo, if you're playing the endgame maps, there are several enemy types that are lightning immune where Infinity does not break their light immunity, so be cautious. But at the least, it makes you do a ton of damage to the ones who aren't immune. And it casts this little aura around your merc's feet. And now we can use all these items in combination with one another. Teleport has a slight cooldown in Path of Diablo. As you can see, that Phoenix sucks up the souls, keeps the mana pot full.
Damn, this is Toad.
And this is Hell mode too, bruh. So yeah, these items are very Toad. Very, 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 very Toad. Let me know what you guys think are, the most Toad items according to your accounts, alright? And this includes Path of Diablo stuff. This is a great combination here. When I finally got this build going on, was like, I was getting really burned out, man. But it just sounds exciting doing this again. But it would just take forever for me to find this stuff on the new ladder. So I don't know if I'm going to achieve that on this ladder. But yeah, this combination right here, this is a good way to go. But like I said, in the endgame tiers, I think the Boazon still has the edge because you run into those pesky light immunes that your Infinity doesn't break. And it just makes shit really difficult. So, if you guys will, let me know your top 10 Toad items that you would pick. And what do you guys think about the choices, the things that I chose in this video. Like the video if you will, subscribe to the page, become a patron if you want, link in the description below. Thank you to my patrons. Peace be with you.